A well-planned AC setup can make a big difference in the summer. It can take the edge off of the heat during a hot day, and maybe more importantly, can keep the van comfortable at night. That said, AC is one of the more involved systems to plan for in a van build, not because the install itself is complicated, but because it's one of the larger power draws you'll have in the van, so it's worth thinking through your electrical setup carefully before you buy anything. Getting that piece right up front is critical. In this video, I'll walk you through the main types of van air conditioning systems, the features that matter, what you'll need to install one, and the critical things to think through before you pull the trigger on a purchase. Let's get into it. Section 1, Common Types and Features. There are generally three main options for van air conditioners, and they each suit a different kind of build, builder, and travel style. First is rooftop units. Rooftop units are one of the most common choices, and there are two distinct categories within them worth understanding. The first are DC powered units, running on 12, 24, or 48 volts, and these are purpose-built for camper vans and off-grid use. Many have variable speed compressors, which means lower startup amperage and more efficient running. Brands like Dometic, Out-Equip Pro, Cruise and Comfort, and others have solid options here. The second category are 110 volt AC powered rooftop units, the kind you'd more commonly see on larger RVs. These need short power or a substantial inverter setup to run for any length of time, so they're generally a better fit if you're regularly plugging in at campgrounds. Both sit on the roof and cool from above, but the voltage difference shapes your electrical plan around them. The second type, portable battery AC units. The EcoFlow Wave series and the Zero Breeze Mark series are main players here. These are self-contained, have a built-in battery, and no roof penetration required. They're less powerful than a rooftop unit, but genuinely capable off-grid, and they don't require cutting your roof. A good fit if you want flexibility or aren't ready to commit to a permanent install yet. And finally, mini-split systems are the third option. And while they're more complex to install than the other two, there are DIY systems out there, and they do show up frequently in van builds. They're efficient, watt for watt, and give you a lot of flexibility in where you place the interior unit. There are options for mounting parts of the system under the van or inside the van, under a bench, or in cabinetry. This option keeps the roof clear and can work well in certain layouts. The install involves running refrigerant lines and mounting a compressor, so it's a bigger project, but it's worth looking into if you need that roof space. And whichever type you're considering, here are 4 features to pay attention to. Number 1, voltage and power draw, AC or DC. This is the starting point for your decision. A DC unit running on 12, 24, or 48 volts is designed for off-grid van life. It works with your battery bank and solar setup. A 110 volt unit runs on shore power or through an inverter, which can be a meaningful electrical load. Think about how you'll actually use the van. Mostly boondocking or camping without hookups, a DC rooftop unit is likely the right fit. Regularly parked at campgrounds with power, then a 110 volt unit opens up more options. Get this decision right first and the rest follows. The second feature worth noting is the BTU rating. This is the cooling output. For a standard cargo van, a Transit, a ProMaster, a Sprinter, you're generally looking at needing 5,000 to 12,000 BTUs. A higher value means the AC can remove more heat from the air. If you're in a cooler climate or just want to take the edge off of the heat or only at night, then the lower end of that range will likely work well. If you really like it cold and plan to be in hot climates, a higher value is what you potentially should aim for. Feature number 3, noise level. AC units in vans are noticeable. You're in a small space and the unit is a lot of times right above you. DC variable speed units tend to run quieter than fixed speed units because they modulate based on demand rather than cycling on and off at full power. Check decibel ratings before you buy, especially if you're planning to run it overnight. And feature number 4, options and extras. So once you have the core specs right and locked in, look at what else comes with the unit. So heat pump capabilities is an interesting one. Remote control and mobile app control are worth having in a small space. These aren't must-haves, but they will add up to a noticeably more comfortable experience. Okay, on to section 2, materials and tools. Materials depend on which type you're installing, but for any rooftop unit, the weatherproofing list is the same: butyl tape and self-leveling lap sealant or other sealant. The unit will usually include a mounting gasket, but add butyl tape under the flange regardless. For the roof cut itself, you'll also need a deburring tool and metal primer or paint to treat the raw edges. Structural reinforcement is important for rooftop units. These are heavy, often 60 to 80 pounds. On the electrical side, you'll need appropriately sized wiring, breakers, and potentially shore power, and an inverter. For a mini split, add refrigerant line sets and any penetration fittings to that list. Tools needed include a jigsaw with a fresh blade for any roof or panel cuts, a drill, a deburring tool, and your electrical tools. For a mini split install, you'll also need a vacuum pump and a manifold gauge set for the refrigerant lines, or you can have a certified HVAC tech handle that part. Now on to section 3, the install tips. 3 things worth thinking through carefully before you start. Number 1, reinforce the roof before you cut. Again, a rooftop AC unit is heavy, and the van roof sheet metal alone is not designed to hold that load on its own. So before making any cuts, add a spreader plate or reinforcement framework that bridges across 2 roof ribs. Tip number 2, check ceiling clearance and shroud depth early. The interior trim shroud of a rooftop unit needs to reach your finished ceiling, which isn't installed yet at this stage of the build. Measure your planned insulation and ceiling panel thickness now, and check it against the unit's shroud reach. Most units offer some adjustment, but if you're building a thicker ceiling or have a non-standard roof height, confirm this before you buy. Same logic applies to under bench or under van mini split placements. Think through clearances and duct routing before the cabinetry goes in. Tip number 3, seal and water test before anything else goes in. Once the unit is mounted, do a thorough leak test before your ceiling or any interior panels go in. Run a hose over the roof, around the flange, and check inside for any moisture. A slow leak from a roof penetration is hard to find and damaging once the ceiling is in. Much easier to catch and fix it now. And that's the air conditioning overview. The type and voltage you choose sets up your whole electrical plan, so it's one of the more important decisions in the build. Get that right, reinforce the roof properly, seal it well, and you'll have a system that makes a real difference when summer rolls around. If this was helpful, check out the other van build step videos linked here. Each one is the same format, a grounded overview, so you know what you're getting into before you start. Good luck with your build. See you in the next step.
Yay, vans!